Greetings and welcome to another edition of Home Cooking for Husbands Who Don't Cook. I'm Chef Tim, and I know what you're thinking. Isn't it hard to prepare a gourmet dinner like these mouth-watering meals for your family? How do you do it, Chef Tim? What's your secret, oh master chef? I get this question all the time, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This might surprise you, unless you're my wife, but I'm probably the world's most incompetent husband when it comes to cooking or baking anything. And that, my friend, is part of my secret to preparing wonderful meals. I'll explain what I mean on the other side. Welcome back. Look at this wonderfully thoughtful husband. He went to all the trouble to make his wife her favorite meal, linguine with roasted red peppers and tomatoes, using all natural ingredients. I know what you're thinking. I hear you. I hate that guy too. I hate to burst your bubble, fellas, but I don't cook. I hate it, and I'm not good at it. In our house, my wife does a lot of the cooking. Okay, most of the cooking. Okay, all of it. She does all of it. Don't get me wrong, I'd gladly do more. I don't claim to be the world's greatest culinary expert, of course. But I think I'm rocking it in this chef's hat, don't you think? Anyway, you see, I can microwave a 6-minute Stouffer's mac and cheese like the best of them. For some inexplicable reason, however, my wife does not consider that making dinner. She once had the nerve to tell me that microwaving 2 frosted cinnamon Pop-Tarts does not constitute preparing breakfast either. Well, I almost always remember to remove them from the foil pouch, but that doesn't seem to matter to her. She's so unrealistic and unreasonable. There are lots of husbands who love the challenge of preparing sophisticated haute cuisine meals using exotic ingredients like foie gras and arugula with a side of homemade Dijon pepper sauce. There's a word for this type of man, jerk, because they are making the rest of us husbands look bad. Let's face it, cooking is hard, and it takes forever, and it makes such a mess. I never grasped the appeal of laboring for an hour to prepare a lavish feast that I will scarf down in 15 minutes, only to spend the next 45 minutes cleaning up the 4 pots and 5 bowls and the 9 ladles required to turn my kitchen into a disaster area. Hey, I can prepare a home-cooked meal every bit as well as the next husband who has never cooked before. But recently, my wife decided, well, she was tired of doing all the cooking, which made no sense to me because I thought that all women just love to prepare all the meals for their families, as is proven by any episode of Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver, or Ozzie and Harriet from the late 1950s. In fact, she said something about it would be a good thing for our relationship if I were to pitch in more and prepare some of the dinners. She presented a ridiculously lame argument about how she had been making meals for our family for the past 3 decades. But I countered with a much more cogent counter-argument about not messing with a good thing. In my defense, I handle all the cleanup after every meal, and I try extremely hard not to whine within earshot of my wife. But my wife is no dummy, despite evidence to the contrary in the form of her marrying me. She had signed up for a service called Home Chef, which it sends you a box filled with all sorts of ingredients pre-measured and ready to just conjure up fancy meals like salmon in brown butter tomato sauce or sumac spiced steak and butternut squash. Nowhere on their list of entree options could I locate chili dogs with fries anywhere. Go figure. I'd like to demonstrate for you now how to impress your wife with an elegant home-cooked feast. Follow my instructions and you'll become a master chef in no time. Now for this demonstration, we're going to prepare honey soy barramundi, which, if everything goes as planned, will look something like this. Trust me, it won't. So let's get started. Step 1, read over the list of ingredients that came in the box. 1 Chayote, 4 ounces of radish, 3 ounces of Swiss chard, 1 ounce of honey, a half a something of soy sauce, 12 ounces of barramundi fillets, 1 cup crispy rice cereal, 1 fluid ounce of egg whites, 2 teaspoons of chopped ginger. Oh my God. Step 2, get a dictionary and find what chayote means, Swiss chard, and for that matter, barramundi. Step 3, set your oven to bake at 450 degrees. While you're doing that, prepare a baking sheet with foil and cooking spray. Step 4, trim the chayote ends and halve them lengthwise. Scoop the seeds out, cut into 1/2 inch slices, trim and quarter the radishes. And then realize that you had previously fed the dog the radishes because you don't particularly care for radishes and your dog will eat anything. Realize that you don't actually have a dog. And where did that dog come from? Step 5, stem the Swiss chard. Retrieve the dictionary to find out what stem means. Then stir the honey, ginger, and soy sauce in a small mixing bowl. And if none is available, just use the cat's bowl. She's not using it at the moment. Step 6, place crispy rice in a medium mixing bowl and crush into a coarse powder. Resist the urge to improvise and make Rice Krispie squares instead, although I have to hear you, that sounds really tasty right about now. Then you want to place the egg whites in a separate mixing bowl. Notice how you've run out of mixing bowls, so just improvise by using a large coffee mug. Immediately after placing the egg whites into the coffee cup, notice that there was actually still some coffee in the cup. Remember vaguely hearing that coffee enhances flavor, so just proceed and stir the coffee egg mixture vigorously. Step 8, place the fish fillets in a large fry pan. Add 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Now turn the burner to medium-high and realize that you did this step in reverse order. Oops. Well, anyways, cook until golden brown, approximately 6 minutes per side. Step 9, take the vegetables out of the oven and notice how they are black with the texture of like lava stones. Refer to step 3 and note that the term bake in the instructions might not be the same as broil. Perhaps those 2 words are not synonymous after all. Step 10, throw away the burnt vegetables. Cut up some celery and tell your wife it was the intended side dish all along. Step 11, suddenly realize, whoops, you omitted step 7, coat the fish with crispy rice. So you belatedly cover the fish with the rice anyways. And note how it doesn't actually adhere to the fish, but just sort of cascades to the bottom of the pan. So remove the pan from the heat as soon as the rice starts exploding everywhere and the fish starts turning dark black, becoming super glued to the pan, and then catches on fire. Step 12, panic for approximately 30 seconds as the fire reaches the kitchen ceiling. Now, pour the coffee mug of egg whites onto the dish in a vain attempt to extinguish the flames. Step 13, drizzle honey ginger soy sauce over the now soggy blackened fish fillets to add color and zest. And then notice how that doesn't remotely help. Step 14, proudly present your fiasco to your beloved wife. Tell her how much you enjoyed preparing it. And then watch as she glares at you and the burnt offering and bans you forever from ever returning to the kitchen. From now on, the natural order will be restored. Congratulations, mission accomplished. Your wife will never ask you to cook a single dinner ever again. That's the view from the bleachers, my friends. Perhaps I'm off base. I'm Chef Tim, and remember, if you like this video or aren't too disgusted with what you just learned about me, please click on the subscribe button below and share this video with your friends or anyone you'd like to annoy. And for more of my humor, you can always visit my humor website, viewfromthebleachers.net. Thank you very much for joining me today, and well, I must sign off now because I can't wait to find out what my wife has prepared us for dinner.